Hi everybody, my name is Farai Malianga. I'm an assistant professor here at Florida State University. So I've been working on this system for a very long time. I'm a musician and my primary instrument is percussion. So I play percussion for dance classes of all kinds, primarily African dance classes, but I work in modern dance classes and I play for ballet classes. The thing I love most about what I do is that my ability to actually play percussion while somebody is actually either teaching or choreographing their dances. So that became an obsession of mine, is how does African dance culture get translated to the different other dance forms, where a dancer can call out a tempo, a style, can ask for a certain kind of vibe or feel, and I can immediately react to whatever they ask for. So this became like a study over the last 20, 25 years that I've been playing for dance classes, and then advanced into me creating music for choreographers. But what happens when I start to incorporate the other side of my skill set, which is working with electronic music, being able to use DAWs to adjust and edit music for dancers and for choreographers? That ended up being an interesting phenomenon where I would create for somebody's predefined choreography. But how about being able to play live African percussion style, but with electronic instruments, with sampled music and other forms? How do I do that where I can react immediately to tempo changes, react immediately to teaching cues, and be able to allow the class to flow while using electronic sounds in the same way that I would allow the class to flow using percussion? So today, I've been working on these three different boards, pedal boards, similar to guitar pedal boards, but specifically designed for dance and choreography. I have this board right in front of me, which is my most advanced, or the largest board that I have, that I've been able to devise, and has all the different components that I would be using to allow me to have complete power over the dance class or over the choreographic rehearsal. Over here, I have the latest version, and probably the most powerful version that I have, and most efficient version of the pedal boards that I've designed. But in order for us to really fully understand what these are doing, let's move back to the very beginning and the simplest board that I've designed that I can use in dance classes. So right here, let's look at the basic principles that go into making a board like this. Initially, you have a sound source. That sound source can either be acoustic or electronic. Whatever the sound source is, it is going to be entered into what we call a signal path. The signal path allows me to take that sound and pass it through the system and be able to get copies or recordings of it. Over here, I have a preamp, which takes the initial sound from the sound source. That sound source could be a microphone, or it could be, in this case, a drum machine that is siphoned through here, flows through this octave pedal, flows through this reverb pedal, which are both effects pedals. Effects pedals are both here, and then get recorded by this loop station. So whenever you have a system, these are the components that we're talking about. Something to take the sound in, something to affect the sound, and something to record the sound. This basic system has proven to be very efficient. And sometimes I wonder if I need something any more complicated than this. But this belies the very basic principles. The other thing you have to concern yourself with is this power brick that gives me the kind of centralized power that will run the entire system with ease. There's the basic system. These principles are actually carried forth to the other pedals. So if we were to look at the bigger pedal, we'll see that the same components are on this bigger pedal with a lot more specificity, but it really is no difference in terms of what products are put on the pedal. Check this out. Once again, I have the same Korg drum machine as one of my sound sources. I also have the ability to run multiple sound sources in, which include a microphone that can be hooked up to the back of this, or the other sound source that comes into here can be a simple cord that connects to a phone or any other device if I want to sample or loop sounds that come from a phone, from any type of a platform, Spotify, YouTube, whatever, or any recorded music that I've pre-recorded inside of a DAW like Logic or Pro Tools. It comes into this system through this preamp, more complicated system, but it's still the same basic idea. These two are preamps that allow me to have multiple inputs, not just one, but multiple inputs coming in. Those multiple inputs are then taken through the loop station, which I put before the effects this time. The loop station then goes out to an EQ pedal, which is in addition to the other pedal, a kill switch, which allows me to gate or chop off the sound if I want to, Then I can go into the effects pedal over here that gives me multiple effects. And then the super powerful H9, which gives me even more algorithms that allow me to create really wild sounds. I can even take something like a percussive sound and turn it into something that's very melodic and large. After we go through all that, I can have a little volume pedal, which is really important when you're playing for dancers because it allows you to be able to bring the volume down so the teacher can actually talk in the midst of not losing the groove of the music that you're creating. So this gives me a little bit more power to be able to really specify what I do for the dance classes. The primary difference for this pedal board, because it's so big, I can put a switcher in the middle of all of this, which means that signal path that I've been talking about in both these pedals can be rerouted through this, and I can decide what order all of these pedals go in, depending on the application. And that's what makes this pedal board very, very sophisticated, very powerful, but also very big and difficult to carry around. All right, one more pedal. This last pedal board is the one that I consider the most advanced. It's kind of the best of both worlds. By putting the super powerful H90 effects, it has another level of complexity. However, the system is exactly the same. I have a preamp here that connects devices like a microphone or a phone or any other device that I want to put in as my input. Once I go past the preamp, that preamp is then run through multiple devices like another kill switch, an EQ if I want to adjust the sound. I also have a drum machine that becomes another input that goes into the preamp. And all of those get directed through this effects pedal, which is H90 and has 2 effects built in. And that gives me extra power to then take those sounds that have been affected and record it on this looper that is a little bit more powerful, a little bit more flexible than the other looper, but less easy to use. Then after all that is said and done, I can output from these devices through this little interface and then be able to plug into YouTube, Instagram or any other streaming device, which gives me a little bit more flexibility. The biggest difference between this and the other pedals, of course, though, is the fact that I have a battery pack that can power this pedal for up to 2 hours. So if I want to go and shoot or create music out somewhere on a beach or somewhere where there's somewhere off the grid, I have the power to be able to use that to be able to power up, be able to work with a lot of my collaborators, like my folks from Mansi, like Chris. I can actually use all of these things while we actually videotaping other events or other situations with live musicians. So that's the final pedal and kind of culminates all of the different components that I've been talking about. All right. That was a mouthful, a brainful. I know we went through a lot of different information, but what I'm going to be doing is premiering these ideas this week at ACDA, which is a conference that we go to as the Florida State University School of Dance, where we participate with a lot of other schools of dance around the nation that come together and talk about different elements of choreography and dance teaching. My goal is to start to really have a deep conversation about how musicians and choreographers can work in a kind of symbiotic way where a choreographer's idea is immediately responded to by the musician. And not only do we have access to the instruments that we would play live, but we also have the ability to take pre-recorded sounds, sound design, and music from other sources and incorporate it in a very real-time approach to creating dance and supporting that dance with music. So follow me as I work through all of these processes and have these kind of open discussions with you all to try and figure out how to best do this. I will be going over the next few months over each single device to give you an idea of what each device does and also introduce you to these ideas. But I'm also open to what ideas you guys may have to help me improve the system that I'm trying to create. And hopefully we can create a dialogue that works for all of us to improve our ability to create and to be original and not require any kind of technology or AI to produce music and dance, but to be able to do something live, in person, living and breathing creative art that we can all work together to make. So hopefully you guys can follow me and continue to watch some of the developments of what I'm trying to work on. And I hope to see you soon.